Hi girls, I'm back. I haven't done a training for a while and I am excited to be here. So I'm gonna wait. I know we're not supposed to, but I feel like with trainings it's different. Because if someone wants to jump on and ask a question, I don't want to have to repeat myself a ton. So I'm gonna give it a minute. I realize that it's kind of an interesting time of day. So we'll see if anyone can get on. I'll give it just a second or two and then we'll get started on what I have to say today. So, yeah, just a minute more. That will probably be my screenshot face, my freeze frame face, because they're always pretty awesome. It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna get started because I also have to go get my kids in a little bit. So, I've done a few trainings and I kind of like to build on the ones I've done in the past and just talk about things a little bit more. So we talked about how we can take baby steps to overcome some of our mental roadblocks that are keeping us back from being successful. And then we also talked about how those baby steps, when you do them consistently, can lead to habits that will help you on this journey that we'd call business. When we're down here, those habits can help us from bottoming out. Those habits are what keeps us going. But I want to talk about another thing that we can do that helps us when we're down here, when we're having one of those really rough, hard days where things don't seem to be going the way they should be going. So we all joined SeneGence for different reasons, right? Hey, Amanda. All of us have our reasons, right? It could be that you just want extra money, pocket change to spend on yourself. I know girls who've joined because they needed something outside themselves, like outside of motherhood or outside the roles they currently are. They needed something beyond that. I know of women who joined because they want to make their car payment, or they want to pay their mortgage, or they want to pay off student loans, whatever. Usually most reasons have to do with money. I want to quit my job, right? We all have our own individual reason. But I'm about to drop a little bit of truth on you, friends. That is not the reason. It's not the reason at all. What you're saying in your mind as to why you joined SeneGence is not the reason. And I'm going to tell you why. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, wait. You need to find your real reason. I'm going to explain something to you about human nature. We, as human beings, make decisions emotionally, and we justify them logically. Go to Target and it will give you a perfect example of why that's true. How many of us go to Target and we're like, okay, I need these 3 things, and then I'm gonna leave Target and I'm not buying anything else. I'm not. I only need these 3 things. And then you walk in and you're doing your shopping and I was like, oh my gosh, that top is super cute. I really need it. I love that shirt. And it's getting close to springtime, and so I kind of cleaned up my closet before winter. I actually really need it. Do you really need it? No. You wanted it. It made you happy. It made you feel good. But then you justified all your decisions logically. Oh, but I cleaned out my closet last spring, and so I really don't have a lot to wear when it starts getting warmer, right? We do that all the time. We make decisions emotionally, and then we justify them logically. That's the reason that salespeople and marketing people get paid so much, is because they need to draw emotions for people to make purchases, right? We all do it. It's what drives us. We are emotional beings. So when you come in and you say to yourself, I am doing this because I want to make my car payment, that is not your reason. That is not going to drive you in any way. That is your logical justification of your reason. It's not your real, true reason. We all have our real emotional why. The real reason that we're here, that we saw this opportunity and we wanted it in our lives, we all have that, but it's emotional. So we need to each take time to figure out what our emotional why is. I'm going to tell you guys how you're going to do that. There's so much power in knowing what your emotional why is. So what I want you guys to do tonight, as soon as you have time, and I really, really feel like this is important, I want you to write down the reason that you decided to become a SeneGence distributor. Whatever it is, whatever you've said is the reason. And what you're going to do is ask yourself why and how until you get to an emotion. So I'm just going to give you some examples. We went to that training with Joni, and a lot of the Crown Princess and above girls got up and they explained their stories. And a lot of their stories had similar themes that ran through them. So I'm going to use some of them as examples. So one of the girls got up and she explained that what a blessing SeneGence had been, right? And one of her stories was that her husband had been laid off years ago. And they blew through their savings. They spent all their money trying to live, trying to survive because they didn't have an income. But her husband got a job. They were back doing what they were going to be doing. So joining for her, I don't know what her reason was, but joining for her might have been, I want to make my mortgage payment, or I want to make enough to pay the utilities or whatever, so that if that happens again, we'll be covered, right? So what would you do with that? I want to make my mortgage payment. Why? Well, because my husband was laid off once and we couldn't. Well, how would that make you feel? Well, it made me feel really sad and insecure, and it made me really stressed, made him stressed, and if I could cover, if I knew I could always make my mortgage payment, that would make me feel really good. Why? Because I would know that my family's taken care of. I would know that they're safe. Well, how would that make you feel? It would make me feel strong and confident, and I would never feel helpless again. There's your emotional why. I want to feel strong and confident, and I never want to feel helpless again. And can you see why that is so much more powerful as your why on your board up in your office, or on a vision board on your phone? Why that statement is so much stronger than, I'd like to make my mortgage payment. Another thing that can happen when you guys start doing this is that a reason you told yourself while you're doing SeneGence might lead to nothing. So it could be, I want to build a house. That's the reason I'm doing this. I would like to build a house. I've never done it. I would like to build my own house, do it how I want. You can go through the hows and the whys, and you realize that it's like a superficial thing, that actually building a house and having that would not make you happy. It wouldn't do anything. In fact, sometimes it might kind of cause a little stress, because you know that also comes with a huge payment. So asking your questions can lead you to your real answers. And this is why it's important. There are going to be bad days. There are going to be days when things don't go according to plan. We've all had them, right? Drop a 1. I'm pulling a naughty in, John. Drop a 1 if you've ever had a day not go as planned with SeneGence. Pretty sure I've had several. So what happens when, let's take the mortgage example still. Your husband has a job. And not only that, but he has a good job right now. And he's making all your bills. He's paying them all quite easily. You've built up your savings again. Like, life is going pretty good, right? And then you get home, and a girl you've been working with to become a distributor, you just find out that she signed up under someone else, even though you've been working with her forever. A girl that was going to host a party for you just canceled, and there's a girl who wants to return her product, and she won't answer you why. She doesn't want to run through troubleshooting. She just doesn't want it anymore. Those things will happen at some point. So if your motivation, if your reason for doing this is that you just want to make your mortgage payment, but guess what? Your husband's making it. His job's going good. I'm not going to deal with this crap. I'm not going to put up with this stuff. Like, why would I do that? But if my reason is that I want to be strong and confident, and I never want to feel helpless again, like, who cares? So long. Fine. You want to go with someone else? Congratulations. I'm excited for you. Hope you do well. Don't want to book a party with me? See ya. On to the next one, because you're not getting in my way. You are not stopping me from never feeling helpless again. You're not. Sorry. Do you see how much power is in that? How it can change what you see as a negative bad day to, like, who cares? On to the next. Compared to, well, I really want to pay my mortgage, but everything's going well right now, so I'm not going to deal with this. Like, I'm not going to do it. This can be with anything. If you said you wanted to quit your job, there's going to be days when you're at your job and things are going to go awesome at your job. And you're going to come home and things didn't go great with SeneGence. And now that job that you hated, that you wanted nothing to do with, that you started on your Senegence journey because you could not stand it looks very peachy right now, because it was a good day there. Constant, know what you're going to get. But if you find your emotional why as to why you want to be home doing Senegence, why you don't want to be in that job, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good your day at work was and how rough your day with Senegence was, because you know why you're doing this. There's no question. You know why you are here. So my husband, I think I've told you guys this, some of you might not know because some of you are new, but so my husband's in sales. We have always had a commission-based job since we've been married. So he's never been salaried, ever. So if my husband doesn't sell, we don't make our mortgage payment. We don't eat. Basics don't exist if he doesn't sell, right? And so because of this, he has to commit to his job. He has to find his emotional why, and that why creates commitment for him. So it's not just your emotional why, you have to find your commitment. So I'm going to tell a story, and some of you might know I love stories because I learn the best from them. So Alexander the Great, if you guys don't know this, I'm also a nerd. Alexander the Great, he was a Macedonian king. Young, super young. But during his reign, his reach, his kingdom extended from Egypt to Persia, who he took over, and then from the Mediterranean all to completely to the Indian border. So his kingdom was humongous, and he is seen as one of the greatest military minds that ever existed. Ever. Very powerful guy. So they actually sailed to Persia with their army to take over Persia, to conquer Persia. So they get there, and you have to realize he's a kid. He's 25, 26 when this happens. So they show up to Persia, disembark, scouts go out, find out that the Persian army is like more than double theirs. So his commanders, right, are like, hey kid, idea, let's get on the boats. We'll go back home, gather up more of our army, come back. It'll be an easy one after that. So he turns to his commanders and says, burn our ships. I need you to go burn the boats. And they're looking at him like, holy cow, this kid has lost it. But they do it because he's in charge. He's the king, right? What are you going to do? So they burn the boats. And he turns to his men. Can you imagine the terror? You know you're going to be facing this humongous army that doubles you at least. And it's not like Persia was like some pushovers. I mean, this was the Persian army at the time. It was huge and well-armed and well-educated. Like they knew what they were doing. And your king has now burned the only way you're getting home. Like, there's no retreat at this point. I cannot imagine how afraid I would be. So he turns to his men and he says, we go home in Persian ships or we die. And honestly, that's not really options. And we are creatures of options. We like a plan B and a plan C just in case. We like those, right? But let's be honest. Go home in Persian ships or die. Like, I'm pretty sure that none of the guys were like, option A or option B. I can't decide. Well, I mean, if this doesn't work out, this would be fine. This is a great option. No, like death is not an option. You are fighting no matter what, and you are fighting until you drop because that's not an option, right? He was brilliant. That was brilliant. And they defeated the Persian army. They took the Persian army down. They conquered it. And you have to, if you guys know anything about history, Persia had been conquering everywhere for a long time. They took out Persia with half the amount of men, and they sailed home in Persian ships. Your emotional why is your Persian ship. But those boats that they got there with, we all got here with boats. We all came here with our own reasons. We all came here also with our own little plan Bs, just in case this doesn't work out. Those are those boats, and we have to burn them. You have to burn your ship. You have to burn that excuse. So, sorry, I'm gathering my thoughts for 1 second. I'm telling another story because I like stories. So, again, my husband's in sales. We had been offered a job in Hawaii, and he'd actually been offered it a few times, and we kept telling them no. We really liked where we were. We had just bought this house right here. This was in like September of 2014. Bought this house, we gutted it, refinished it, bought all new furniture, moved in. I had my 5th baby in January, and we were pretty so that was January 15. We were pretty comfy and good. And then we got offered it again, and for whatever reason, we really felt strongly that we should go to Hawaii, that we should do that. We should go and try this job out, give it a go. So we knew that if we had a home here, if we had all this brand new furniture, if we could just move back and just start our lives over, again, we just pick up where we left off, that we would. Because while Hawaii is beautiful and it's a great place to go and visit, we were moving away from our family. We were moving away from friends that we've had since my husband was in junior high, elementary school. We were moving away from all of that to do something hard. So we sold everything. All of our furniture, our cars, and we're talking, I'm not joking. All of my husband's tools, bikes, all of our winter clothes, everything was sold. We didn't put anything in storage except for an antique that I inherited. That is the only thing we kept. Everything else we sold. We moved to Hawaii with 14 suitcases. That was it. That's all we had. That is all we had to our name. And it was awesome. Hawaii was hard. There was some really hard things about living in Hawaii. But my husband's job, awesome. It was awesome. So we burned our ship, but in a very literal way, right? There was nothing coming back here. We rented this house for a year. There was no coming back and just picking up where we started. Coming back was hard because we had nothing. We owned nothing. So how do you do that in your mind, though? How do we burn those ships? Your ship that you came here on, those ships that you know are sitting at that beach and you can just head home on whenever you want, whenever it gets too hard, whenever you're too scared. Those are any excuse that you sell yourself as to why you cannot have what you want in SeneGence. Those ships are your what ifs, your plan Bs, it's okay, it's fine, we still have this. So how do you get rid of those? How do you go through those excuses? And we all have them. We've all told about, I've even told myself them. I don't have enough friends. If only I would have known about this when Tawny knew about it, or Nicole, or Natalie, or Leah, or whoever, then it would have worked better. It's too saturated. The out of stocks are out of control. I can't be successful. Those are all of us taking those little boats, just folding it up and putting it in our back pocket just in case. And you can just whip that thing out and be like, sorry, this isn't working for me. So I'm just going to hop on my excuse ship and head on home. But you're going home without success, right? You're going home without conquering that Persian army. You can't start a diet and then stick a candy bar in your back pocket and be like, that's just in case. And then think the diet's going to work, right? This is just my plan B, just in case it doesn't work out. It'll be fine. We all have those excuses, right? I think one that's really common is if I would have only started when. If I would have started when Tawny first started, I would for sure be an empress right now. If I would have started when Nat started, I would for sure be a queen. I would. We make up these excuses and we tell ourselves lies like they were in the right place at the right time. Yeah, they were. They were in the right place at the right time. But guess what? There are girls that started at the same time Tawny did. And before, actually, here in Utah. There are girls that started when Chelsea did. and when Nicole did, and when Natalie did, and when Leah did. And there are girls that have quit that are not queens, that are not empresses, not crown princesses. There are girls that started at the same time. They were in the same place at the same time. But guess what? They did not have the same mind. They took their ships that they got here on, those little excuses, and they folded those things up and stuck them in their back pocket. And they used them. They found their excuse. And they did not find their emotional why. They did not have their Persian ship. Now, everyone's journey is different. There's actually girls that have started after me that are either my same rank or outrank me. Tons. There's girls that have been working as long as Nat that have just barely hit a duchess or a princess. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have different journeys, right? But those girls still have the right mind. They see this for the opportunity that it is. This company is just as good and is in just the right time and right spot as it was when Tawny started. We have such an amazing opportunity, but if you do not know why you're here, and if you are holding on to those plan Bs, success will try your resolve. It will. And that's the reason that only so many people are successful. It's not luck. The people who are successful are the ones that show up, know their reasons, know why they're doing it, because then when things come up, because we all know they will, we've all had those experiences where things did not go the way we planned. I just barely did a party, Facebook party. The girl did great. It was an awesome party. I sent her, I have a video that explains what becoming a distributor means. I talked to her about my team, what SeneGence meant to me. And she was going to sign up, had gotten my information, was going to sign up. And all of a sudden I got invited to join her Facebook group. And I was like, pretty sure that wasn't, what? What? And she had signed up to help a cousin that had been struggling. Like, that is real life. That is going to happen. But I know why I'm here. I know why I'm doing this. And so I'm sad, and I'm sad because, of course, I would love for her to be on my team. But I'm also excited for her because what I believe in SeneGence does not change whether or not she's on my team. Like, I hope she rocks it. I hope she kills it. Because I'm standing here telling her that she will. That she can with this company. But I know why I'm here. And I have burned my ships. There are no excuses for me. This will work for me. Whether it takes me years or not. This is it. Success will test your resolve. And all those outs, all those excuses are just things that you sell to yourself so that you can explain why you're not getting what you want, why you can't have what you want from SeneGence or from anything. So there's one last thing I want to touch on, and that's the idea of trying it out. We all started with that mindset. I think everyone does. I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. Trying it out doesn't work. It will for a little while. It will for a little while because you're excited, right? You're so excited for it. A month and a half, probably at the start, you know how crazy it is? I think everyone can attest to how crazy it is. But if you keep the mindset of I'm just trying it out, any bumps in the road, you won't be able to handle it. So take some time and figure it out. So my two big takeaways. 1, write down why you became a SeneGence distributor and ask yourself how and why until you find the emotional reason behind it. What is the real reason that you decided to be a distributor? 2, write down the excuses that you are telling yourself all those plan Bs, all those things that you're talking about, whether it's out of stock, so I can't compete. If I would have only done it 6 months ago, my husband's job is great right now, I don't really need it. Whatever your excuses are, whatever your plan Bs are, I want you to write them down, and I want you to write down 2 reasons why they're not true, why they're not excuses, what you're saying to yourself to sell yourself on that idea. So, doing this training, it kind of remotivated me. And I really started thinking about those men that were facing that Persian army, that were given the choice of going home in Persian ships or dying. That was their options. And we all know this, not an option. It's not really an option. If I look at SeneGence the same way, I will be a crown princess, I will make this work, or my family doesn't eat. I don't make a mortgage payment. This is not an option, right? If I looked at it like that, if I saw it that way, would I be running my business the same way I am now? Or are there things that make me uncomfortable? Are there things that put me outside my comfort zone? Are there ways that I'm not committed that I would change? What would I do differently if that was how I saw it, if that was reality for me? Because we know this is not an option. It's not an option, right? Success is the option. That is what I'm going to be striving for. So I want you guys to think about that. What is your emotional why? What are your ships that you're carrying around in your back pocket that you need to burn and be done with? And if success was your only option, would you be running your business the same way you are now? Or what would you change? What would you do differently? How would you approach it? So I feel like thinking about this and really kind of studying it out in my mind, I was like, there are things that I personally need to change and do differently, because I, for one, am not going to look back on my SeneGence journey and be like, oh, I could have, there was more girls I could have talked to. There are more people I could have contacted. There were several days when I did not wear my stripes, or there were times when people asked me what I did and I did not say, I'm a SeneGence distributor. Think about those things, and I hope that this helps you guys. I hope that it helps you guys see that this opportunity is real. It's very real, but success will test your resolve. So find that why. Find your Persian ship. Find that thing that is going to carry you through. And if you have some of these excuses, if you have some of these problems and you don't know why they're not true or how to overcome them, talk to your upline. That is why we're here. And if they don't know the answer, I promise you someone in their upline does. We want you guys to be successful. I want that so badly for my girls on my team, and I want that for all of you because I believe in it. I know that Leah wants that for me. I have no doubt about that. I know Natalie wants that for me. I have no doubt about that. So if you guys have questions, if you guys feel like there are things that are in your path that are keeping you from being successful, talk to us. Let us help you. There was just that awesome video that was done with all those ideas about how to increase sales, move your stock. I learned a ton from it. I loved getting those video clips because I was like, oh, I'm doing that now. That is brilliant. Use your resources. And one of your resources is your upline. So if you guys have questions, please post them up. I'm happy to answer them. And thanks for the girls who joined today. You guys were kind of quiet, but it's all right. I think I was ranting a little. I hope this helped. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Okay? Bye.